Hello everybody, it is me, Handy Doll Creations, once again, and this is going to be part one. I'm just gonna preface this by saying now, oh boy, so a lot of things kind of just popped up, and I haven't been able to give the armor my full attention, but I wanted to give you guys something to at least try to hold everybody off for now. So this video is going to be part one to a part two type of thing, kind of like the last one. But in the second part, I will be showing the entirety of the armor making process, which I've gotten pretty far already. But I wanted to post this video so you guys could watch something, and I wanted to reward your guys' patience. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. So with all the formalities out of the way, let's get into removing the identity of what once was Heath Burns from Monster High. So, boy, it actually took me like 3 days to try to pry off the hairpiece just because I was really afraid of putting a huge hole in the head. That does not sound right. But I was kind of scared because the glue is kind of strong, at least to me. And I was really paranoid about destroying the head. But it worked out well, and also this is me giving him a quick concussion to show how strong epoxy can be. I also ended up doing it off camera because I accidentally lost those recordings. Anyway, so moving on to the head where I get to sculpt him into a lion. I also decided to add little lion paws to his feet. I kind of just added more to the original Monster High doll feet. And it was kind of cool, but I definitely don't know how to sculpt lion feet very well, and I will keep practicing. I will hopefully get better as time goes on. But this is how the face looks after I have finished it. And I tried before to add little fur tufts, but they look like blobs. Also, these ears that I tried making, oh my goodness. So, oh boy, it was difficult. I'm gonna tell you that now. I was trying to make more accurate lion ears, but oh boy, they did not come out right at all. Also, at the last minute of me about to paint the body, I decided, you know what, let's just reconstruct the legs. Because at first I was gonna leave them, but then I was thinking to myself and I was thinking, you know what? I have to do it. I have to reconstruct the legs to make them into cat-looking legs. So I did that. And the way I did that was that I cut the shins in half and the thighs in half, and I glued the thighs at an angle so that way it kind of looked like a cat leg. And I did the same thing for the shins as well. And I kind of just added some armature so I could have extra movability and posability. So yeah, and I definitely didn't make a mistake when I first was making the hinges for it. Yeah, I definitely did. But none of you will ever know. Only I will know. So, I also decided to try to see if I can smooth out the face as smooth as I possibly could. Because this was actually the first time I ever sculpted a lion's face. And I'm actually really proud with it. I love how it came out, and for the first time for me sculpting like lion cat like features on a doll's face, I'm proud of it. It definitely took some epoxy. I feel like the ears actually wasted the most epoxy, and I feel horrible because I didn't want to mess it up. Also, there was a lot of sanding throughout this process. I knew there was going to be sanding, but not this much sanding, and I am so glad I have a respirator mask. Because, yeah, you should not be breathing these particles of dust into your lungs. Also, these are how the legs came out. I tried smoothing them out with the hot glue, and the reason why I didn't go over them with more epoxy was because I didn't want it to be too heavy. And I also decided to start working on the mane as well, which I just got some different colored yarn, and I also have this one yarn that actually I don't think it's even acrylic, but I don't even know what type of yarn it is because it's been so long, and I lost the label to it. So yeah, it actually ended up adding some extra texture for the mane, so I'm really happy with that. I like it, and it was satisfying. I also was planning on making a wig cap for him, but I think I'm just gonna abandon that idea because I did it wrong first time, and it just kind of didn't seem too necessary. So I just ended up gluing on the hair tufts to the head to make his mane. And these are how they came out after they were brushed and flat ironed. They look really pretty. I actually am planning on gluing the red pieces of the mane in front and then kind of making a gradient effect. And I made a mistake when I was sketching out the armor design. So what I did was that I forgot to wrap the doll in plastic wrap. Which, if you don't know, plastic wrap is important because it is meant to keep the tape from sticking to the doll. And because I forgot that step, I had ended up taking off the whole thing of tape, and I took off some of the paint, and that was a whole thing there. And it's also meant to be easier for you to take off the tape as well, so that way you don't destroy anything. Yeah, I had to redo the process all over again. But yeah, I'm glad I remembered at least for the legs. Also, an example of what was going through my head in that moment when I realized was that when I was cutting off the tape on the body, I was thinking to myself, you know what, this is a little more difficult than last time I tried doing something like this. What am I doing wrong? Oh god, the plastic wrap! So that was exactly what was going through my brain cage in that moment, because I realized, when you realize, I realized I goofed. So because this video is technically a part 1 out of 2, it's gonna be a bit shorter. So yeah, I was planning on making this into a longer video, but it's been taking quite some time. So yeah, we're getting a part 1, part 2 situation. And after this, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a chill break from doll customizing and do some other little small projects that I kind of do have in mind to record and post. So yeah, hopefully that ends up well. And after that, I will get back on to the next character I'm planning on making. So to make the armor, I cut out the patterns from the tape onto paper, and then I traced that paper template onto foam. And I cut them out, assembled them together in the according order that I had set up for myself. And then I forgot that I was supposed to add a layered effect to the armor. So I cut out some pieces of foam, and glued them onto the main armor pieces so that way they would look layered. This is also me recreating the ears because I did not like how the original ears were before, and this time I decided to sculpt them into more of a triangle shape, and I think they came out pretty good. Still a little rough. I wish I had done some more sanding, but I had painted them and then I had seen that they weren't completely smooth, so I was kind of upset, but it's okay. You can't even tell. And I also ended up sculpting and carving the lion symbol out of epoxy and using some mold making solution to make a mold of it. And at first I tried hot glue to make the copy. I don't know why. it just came out bad. So I just ended up using epoxy after that. I don't know why I didn't lead with that. I honestly couldn't tell you. So yeah, that's everything I've been able to finish so far, and I'm almost done with everything else. I'm just still finishing up some stuff. So yeah, I will see you guys in part 2. Bye!